Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining with me. We are reading A Course in Miracles workbook for students, lesson 328. I choose the second place to gain the first. This is footnote 144, Luke 14:8-10. This Bible passage teaches that when you are invited to a marriage feast, do not sit down in a place of honor, lest you be asked to move and then have to take the lowest place. Instead, go and sit in the lowest place so that when your host comes, he may say to you, "Friend, go up higher." In the above lesson, we think that we will gain the first place by striving to be separate and independent, subservient to no one. Instead, we need to choose the second place of following God's will. Yet, this is not a case of our will being subservient to His, for when we follow Him, we find that our will is His. And so we unite with His will and also with our own true will. We therefore gain the first. What seems to be the second place is the first, for all things we perceive are upside down until we listen to the voice of God. It seems that we will gain autonomy but by our striving to be separate, and that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. Yet all we find is sickness, suffering, and loss and death. This is not what our Father wills for us, nor is there any second to His will. To join with His is but to find our own, and since our will is His, it is to Him that we must go to recognize our will. There is no will but yours, and I am glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. It is your will that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace, and happily I share that will which you, my Father, gave as part of me. And now we will read the commentary by Alan Watson and Robert Perry. I choose the second place to gain the first. This is the practice suggestion. Ask for guidance about some situation facing you today. Listen with a quiet, receptive, open mind. You may find that what you hear feels different from your will, from what you want in this situation. If so, try to consider that perhaps what you heard is your will. Consider that this is your true will, which you have lost touch with, coming to you in a particular form. I'm sorry, I got confused about where I was. And now we're reading that was by Robert Perry, and now we'll read Alan Watson's commentary. This lesson is saying that when we consider choosing to join our will to God's will, it seems like some kind of loss, a submission to something outside of ourselves. It seems like taking second place. It seems subservient or submissive. And in our mistaken identity as egos, we feel that the only way to have autonomy is to make ourselves independent from God and from the rest of His creation. We are seeing things upside down. All that we find by asserting our independence is sickness, suffering, and loss and death. We are like a branch trying to become independent of the vine. If we are cut off from the vine, we die. Our identity is not lost by joining with the vine, it is found. Because we are not something separate, we are part of God and part of His creation. And only in joining with that willingly can we discover our true identity. Our will is His. We choose to submit to God's will, which seems like taking second place, because in joining with Him we arrive in first place, one with the will of the Creator of all things. Thank you so much. Please close your eyes if you're able to and join me in the meditation. I choose the second place to gain the first. There is no will but yours, and I am glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. It is your will that I be safe, holy, eternally at peace. And happily I share that will which you, my Father, gave as part of me. I choose the second place to gain the first. So much for joining with me in that meditation. We are now on What is Creation? And this is the commentary by Alan Watson, paragraph 4, sentences 4 through 6. Love created us like itself, as parts, each of which contain the whole. We are thoughts of love, and love remains with all its thoughts, its sureness being theirs. The certainty of God is our certainty. It was given us in creation and is still there within us. It has never left us, although we have obscured it. God's memory is in our minds. Although we seem to be separate parts, we are not. We are parts, but not separate, like droplets of water in the ocean. So we still contain all that was in the original creation. What belongs to the ocean belongs to each drop. Each of us still retains our oneness and our unity with our Creator. Let our function be only to let this memory return, only to let God's will be done on earth, only to be restored to sanity, and to be but as God created us. Our whole purpose in life is to be nothing but this, nothing but the restoration to our awareness of our wholeness and our partness in wholeness. This is why we are here. This is the purpose behind every direction taken by the Holy Spirit's guidance in our lives. We are not here to bolster our partners, to meet goals belonging only to the part. We are here to let the memory of God return to our conscious minds and to fulfill our purpose as the extensions of the will of love. Lesson 328. Thank you for joining with me. I choose the second place to gain the first. I love you. Thank you.